Welcome to the first episode of Hey Congress, what the is up? All right, so I spent about 6 hours today going through every piece of legislation introduced this week. Today is March 28th, so everything from March 24th until March 28th. So what we have here, first chart is going to be the legislation that's been introduced. So we have a total of 204 bills that were introduced, 77 from the Democratic Party and 127 from the Republican Party, about 62.3% against 37.7%. And then here I also have a chart of who is doing what. We got to keep them accountable. You got to make sure your congressmen and women are actually working. So here we have a chart of everything that, or every piece of legislation that's been introduced and who introduced it. It's kind of hard to see because there's a lot that happened this week. But you can see Congresswoman Hochin from, I actually can't see that. So if you can see that better. Congresswoman Hochin has 4 bills that were introduced this week alone. So a round of applause for actually doing some work this week. We have a few other congressmen and women who have 3 bills, 2 bills, a lot have 1, and you can see out of the 400 and some odd members that we currently have with members who have passed and some elections that may or may not still be going on. This is how many actually introduced bills this week. All right, so let's get into it. This week, I have 20 bills that I want to talk about. I will not go through all 204 because that's a lot of dang bills. But I have broken it down. If you would like a copy sent out to you, just let me know because I might be able to start a newsletter soon that has my Google documentation that has all of those bills on there with links to be able to go on there. If not, you can always pull up in congress.gov, go onto the House floor sessions, and be able to pull up the legislative text from there. So without further ado, let's get into the top, my opinion, the top 20 bills of the week. All right, so let's jump right into it. So, again, this is a mostly unbiased, unopinionated take. Everything I'll be showing you is from government resources, I believe, for the most part. Yeah, I think everything in this one is from government sources. So, I'll post everything on the screen somewhere within here. I don't know, my hands aren't doing things here somewhere. To be able to provide you some more evidence of what I'm actually doing, so you know that what I'm telling you is not BS. And we can figure out what Congress is doing. Let's do it together. I think I have about 20 bills here. There's 204 introduced. This would take me like way too long to record if I actually went over all of them because it took me like probably 3 hours to compile just the list today of what we have here. And this is only one video of 2 that I will be posting this weekend. Anyways, enough about me. Let's jump into it. The first bill we have is House Joint Resolution 81. This is introduced by Republican Stubbe. I don't really actually know how you say his name. A Republican from Florida's 17th District. Introduced on March 24th, authorizing the use of military force against certain Mexican cartels. So it's kind of interesting. So follow along. Please follow along. Can't tell you what to do. Make your own decision. You have free will. House Joint Resolution 81 is a legislative proposal introduced in the 119th Congress authorizing the president to use military force against specific Mexican cartels. The resolution outlines the following key points. I did not ask ChatGPT to help me with this one because it was a lot of reading. So it is factual, though, because I did actually go ahead and go back and read it. All right. The names of 9 cartels as covered cartels include Tren de Aragua, MS-13, the Sinaloa Cartel, Jalisco New Generation Cartel, and others. The resolution asserts that the cartels are responsible for acts of terrorism, drug trafficking, specifically fentanyl, cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine, human trafficking, and violations of U.S. territorial integrity. It also criticizes the Mexican government for its inability or unwillingness to dismantle these criminal organizations. So what this does is it gives the president power to deploy U.S. armed forces to conduct military operations against the named cartels and any affiliated or successor organizations as deemed necessary. Um, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if this one's going to pass or not. That's a that's a lot of power. I mean, Congress technically has to, go to war. Congress is the one that votes to go to war. Um, is this a vote to go to war? I don't know if this is even, really legal. I don't know. Anyways, that's House Joint Resolution 81. Next, we have House Joint Resolution 80, introduced by Representative Presley, a Democrat from Massachusetts 7th District, establishing the ratification of the Equal Rights Amendment. Okay, Equal Rights Amendment, this one gets messy. Messy in a it's been going on for a long time way. Like before my mama was born, long time. This bill would help ratify the Equal Rights Amendment to the Constitution. It was passed by the Congress in 1972 and was sent to the states for ratification. In 1977, 35 states had ratified the amendment, but it fell short of the 38 states, obviously, because 35 is less than 38. Um, Needed for ratification by the deadline of June 30th, 1982. In 2020, which is way after 1982, Virginia is for lovers, became the 38th state to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. But the amendment's future remains uncertain due to pending legal challenges because obviously 1982 is way before 2020. So opponents to the bill say that the amendment was not ratified in time. Obviously, wasn't ratified in time because it's like 40 years late. The bill would eliminate any time constraints to help the amendment follow through with ratification. So essentially, this is saying, hey, sorry, we know that it was supposed to be done in 1982, but like, let's just say, screw that timeline. We don't need it, according to this bill. So, doubt it'll pass. I'm pretty sure the ratification of Equal Rights Amendment has been um, brought up in like every Congress since 2020. So, stay tuned. Next, we have House Resolution 2300, introduced by Representative Harshbarger, a Republican from Tennessee's 1st District. This says to ensure national uniformity with respect to certain requirements relating to preterm infant formula and for other purposes. This is a bipartisan bill, and I have no text, but it sounds promising. House Resolution 2288, introduced by Representative Carter, a Republican from Georgia's 1st District, to nullify the final rule of the EPA titled Reconsideration of the National Ambient Air Quality Standards for Particulate Matter. I didn't know what this one meant, so I looked it up and I'm going to share it with you. On October 7th, 2024, October, on February 7th, 2024, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency announced a final rule to strengthen the nation's national ambient air quality standards for fine particle pollution, also known as fine particulate matter, PM 2.5, or soot. This lowered the standard from 12 micrograms per cubic meter to 9 micrograms per cubic meter, based on scientific evidence that shows the previous standard of 12 micrograms did not protect health with an adequate margin of safety. As required by the Clean Air Act, this bill would overturn the 9 microgram decision and revert it back to 12 micrograms. Okay. It has to do with vehicle pollution, so it's very much not surprising that this one was introduced, and it is definitely not a bipartisan bill. Okay. Next, we have House Resolution 2333, Representative Mannion, a Democrat from New York's 22nd District. This was introduced on the 25th of March, around the next day now, To prohibit the use of appropriated funds to eliminate, consolidate, or otherwise restructure any office within the Department of Education that administers or enforces programs under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act and for other purposes. If I put this one in here, you probably know what's going to be later. Not a bipartisan bill, heavily supported by the Democratic Party. Essentially, if the Department of Education were to go away, this makes sure that the money that was already appropriated to these programs still goes to these programs, even if the Department of Education is gone. But there's no text yet, so I can't actually give you all of the information, but that's what it's for. Next, we have House Resolution 2337, introduced by Representative Mills, a Republican from Florida's 7th District. This is to amend the Immigration and Nationality Act to clarify birthright citizenship and for other purposes. Not surprising this is in here, due to the fact that the current administration is trying to curve, I'm not gonna say twist, curve the information with birthright with in retrospect to birthright citizenship. So I kind of was expecting to see something related to birthright citizenship coming soon, and here it is. What is it going to do? I don't know because there's no text yet. But House Resolution 2337 is definitely one I think we should keep an eye on. Next, we have House Resolution 2361. Representative Connolly, Democrat from Virginia's 11th District. This was introduced on the 26th. I only had like two from yesterday, or two from the 25th, whatever. This says to permit the televising of Supreme Court proceedings. Finally, it's 2025, I think, and we still don't televise Supreme Court proceedings. So we televise congressional hearings, we provide congressional floor sessions, we Senate, whatever, House of Representatives. We televise all of it. So why don't we televise Supreme Court proceedings? I don't know. Make it make sense. Well, Representative Connolly said, I'm about to make this ish make sense right now because I'm going to say, let's do it, fam. I don't know what's actually in there because there's no text yet, but I'm really excited to see that one come out. Hopefully it passes. Next, we have House Resolution 2368. Representative Ivy, a Democrat from Maryland's 4th District. This says to amend Title 18 United States Code to prohibit a federal firearms licensee from selling or delivering certain semi-automatic centerfire rifles or semi-automatic centerfire shotguns to a person under 21 years of age, with exceptions for active duty military personnel and full-time law enforcement officers and for other purposes. This one doesn't apply to me necessarily because I am both above 21 years of age and not active duty military personnel anymore, but I was active duty at the time when I was under 21. So it doesn't really apply to me, but this is a way to help tighten up gun laws. I go back and forth with this one. I'm, like I said, if you watched my other video or my TikTok videos, I'm very like, here's, I don't know which way the camera might be flipped around, but like, here's left, here's right, whatever, left, right. You see my head? This is like where I am. Okay. No matter how far out you go here, I sit right here in the middle, very center. But I have opinions on firearms and restrictions to firearms that I will not get on here and talk about. I'm just here for facts, babe. That's it. No text yet, so don't even know what else is going to be in here. We have House Resolution 2378, Representative Miller, a Republican from Illinois' 15th District, to establish clear and consistent biological definitions of male and female. This one's really interesting because I don't really know how this one's going to be used. When I read some of these, I think about like what is the like end goal for whatever bills they're introducing. Like how are they going to use it? We already have pretty clear definitions of what biological male and female is. This isn't talking about like no one's arguing that a trans male or trans female isn't a biological male or female. You added the term biological, which means based within biology. Based within biology be, XX, XY, chromosomes, whatever. So I think they could have just said to establish clear and consistent definitions of male and female, if that's what you were trying to accomplish by saying that trans people don't exist, whatever, if you want to be that person. But anyways, there's no text yet, so I don't even know what's going to be in here. Next, we have House Resolution 2395, introduced by Representative Clyde from Georgia's 9th District. He is a Republican. We're on the 27th of March, by the way. That's when this was introduced. To amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to remove short-barreled rifles and short-barreled shotguns and certain other weapons from the definition of firearms for the purposes of the National Firearms Act and for other purposes. Never actually read the National Firearms Act, but I did for you. So the National Firearms Act of 1934 is a federal law regulating the possession, transfer, and manufacture of certain firearms and accessories, including machine guns, short-barreled rifles, and shotguns, silencers, and destructive devices, requiring registration and taxation. Is a hammer a destructive device? I mean, I don't know. So essentially, this looks like it's just going to remove short barrel rifles and short barrel shotguns, which I believe are under 18 inches, fall within this category, from the National Firearms Act. So nothing crazy, probably will pass. House Resolution 2427, Representative Friedman, a Democrat from California's 30th District, to prohibit price gouging as an unfair and deceptive act or practice during a major disaster or emergency and for other purposes. Um, you know, I come from Tennessee. It's like every time there was snow or like uh, the slightest possibility of snow, milk and bread were out in the stores. And so, this would make Walmart not be able to price gouge you if they know that people in Tennessee are going to buy milk and eggs and bread or whatever the hell else they buy, because there's a tenth of an inch of snow that's been forecasted 8 months in advance. So Walmart, no more price gouging for you. Sorry, didn't mean to call you out, Walmart. I mean Kroger, no price gouging for you. Just kidding. I don't know if anyone actually does this because I have never had to worry about it. I am in my bubble in Arizona. I ain't got any of that. I ain't got fires. I ain't got earthquakes. I mean, I guess we got fires, but not bad. Anyways, off topic here. Essentially, it prevents price gouging. There's no text yet, so I don't know how they're going to prevent price gouging, but there's no text or how they're going to determine price gouging specifically. House Resolution 2443, Representative Jackson, a Republican from Texas' 13th District, to eliminate taxpayer funding for the partisan broadcasting outlets known as NPR, National Public Radio, and Public Broadcasting Service, PBS, and for other purposes. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the committee hearings about this week. Essentially, the Republican Party is trying to get rid of PBS and NPR. They're saying that it's indoctrinating the kids. Yep. What's really interesting about this is I feel like, okay, if you're gonna say that NPR and PBS is indoctrinating children, then wouldn't you also say that what's that like conservative, maybe it's not conservative, sorry, Christian learning site that teachers use to show kids in school? Wouldn't that also fall under this if you're saying that PBS is broadcasting or is indoctrinating kids? I don't know. I'm not here to throw my opinion. I'm just asking questions because I don't know. I have an opinion. It stays right here in the noggin. There's no text yet on it. I don't know what's all going to be in there, but we have House Resolution 2446, introduced by Representative Lawler, a Republican from New York's 17th District, to amend the Higher Education Act of 1965 to prohibit institutions of higher education that authorize anti-Semitic events on campus from participating in the Student Loan and Grants Program under the Title IV of such act. We probably know what this is in relation to. Looking at you, Columbia University. I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding, but I knew this one was going to be coming soon. It's not surprising. It's been introduced. It will probably pass. So, no text yet. Don't know what's all in it. Thought you should know. It's here. House Resolution 2446. Next, we have House Resolution 2447. Representative Liu, a Democrat from California's 36th District, to increase cybersecurity education and job growth and for other purposes. Put that in there for me. Don't work in cybersecurity. And I thought it was cool. And I wanted you to know about it. You probably don't care, but I do because I think cybersecurity is incredibly important and I love my job and I think that everywhere needs exceptional cybersecurity. So, yeah, no text yet. Don't know how they're going to do it, but I wanted to put that in there because I thought it was cool. That one is for me. Shout out me. Next, we have House Resolution 2452. Representative Miller, a Republican from Illinois' 15th district. You remember what she said earlier? Just gonna follow a similar theme here. A couple days later, she's still thinking about it, so she's like, "Got to put this one in there too, bro." To provide that for purposes of determining compliance with Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972, locker room facilities and active use in connection with an education program or activity may be in use only by the individuals of the same sex as determined solely on each individual's reproductive biology and genetics at birth. Now I understand where she was going with that other bill. She's going with the other bill, saying we got to determine biological male and female. We gonna use it in this bill now. So I have a question with this one. So it says locker room facilities and active use in connection, blah blah blah, by individuals of the same sex. So like, can a bunch of guys just go into the girls' locker room and be like, since there's no one in here right now, the boys got it. You see that YMCA female locker room for the boys right now? It kind of sounded creepy, but you know what I mean. Could the girls do the same thing? Could the girls just waltz up into like a male locker room and be like, "Hey, by the way, there's no males in here right now, so it's ours now." I don't know. Seems kind of vague. Also, I don't know what an education program or activity like. I understand like school or sporting events, like high school sport events, whatever. But like, what else is there? I don't know. There's no text yet, so can't even tell you. Next we have we only have a couple left here. I think. I don't know. Anyways, we have House Resolution 2453, Representative Miller Meeks, a Republican from Iowa's 1st District, to continue Executive Order 14224 in effect indefinitely. If you don't know what Executive Order 14224 does, it establishes or designates English as the official language of the U.S. So Representative Miller Meeks is saying, we want that ish permanently, bruh. So you heard it first here. Probably not, but House Resolution 2456, Representative Morin, Republican from Texas's 1st District, to terminate the Department of Education and for other purposes. Dun, dun, dun. You knew it was coming. I kind of hinted to it earlier, and you have seen probably this everywhere already. I'm not going to beat it down too much more because you've already heard about it. Essentially, Republicans are trying to eliminate the Department of Education and for other purposes. I don't know what that's supposed to mean in relation to this. There's no text yet, so I would like to tell you more, but I can't. So stay tuned. House Resolution 2460, Representative Kerry, Republican from Pennsylvania's 10th District, to repeal the renewable fuel program of the EPA. I had no idea what this was, so I learned, so you're going to learn with me. Congress created the Renewable Fuel Standards Program to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and expand the nation's renewable fuels sector while reducing reliance on imported oil. Seems like a weird left and right mashup here. This program was authorized under the Energy Policy of 2005 and expanded under the Energy Independence Securities Act of 2007. Okay, I understand people on the right may not like the EPA. People on the left love the EPA for the most part, I think. But I want you to think about something for a second. Think about in 2005, this program was authorized. Who was president during 2005? Regardless of who in Congress, the president still has to sign off on it, unless there was a 2/3 majority vote, which I don't think there was. So who was it? Okay, keep that in your head, in your noggin. And who was also president in 2007? Is that person the same? Yes. I was answering your question. I was agreeing with your answer, whatever. Isn't it funny how the times have changed? The turns have tabled. I don't know. House Resolution, we got two more. House Resolution 2464, Representative Schneider, a Democrat from Illinois' 10th District, to repeal Section 338 of the Tariff Act of 1930. If you don't know, Section 338, well, I didn't know either. So Section 338 of the Tariff Act of 1930 gives the president unilateral power to impose up to 50% tariffs in response to discriminatory behavior, which is what the current administration is using now to impose tariffs against countries. That was my chair. I promise if you heard that. Anyways, so Representative Schneider said, we ain't doing it. Take it away. Get it out of here. So if this went away, then the current administration would not be able to impose the tariffs unless it was through Congress, which the current administration also owns Congress. So it happened anyways, but whatever. And last but not least, save the best for last. Best in terms of, I thought it was interesting when I came across it, and I'm going to share it with you. Next, we have, finally, we have House Resolution 2462. Representative Rose, a Republican from Tennessee's 6th District. Drum roll, please. To authorize livestock producers and their employees to take black vultures, take them out to dinner, to a movie, just kidding, in order to prevent death, injury, or destruction to livestock and for other purposes. I had no idea. I actually grew up in Tennessee, so interesting. I had no idea that vultures, black vultures specifically, are federally protected under the Migratory Birds Treaty Act of 1918. When did we start caring about birds? I guess 1918. You know, we didn't care about birds during the bird flu. I guess we probably did start caring about them then. So maybe this was like, hey, we now give a poop about birds because it's 1918 now. We're going to start protecting them. I don't know. This means that the birds, their nests, and eggs cannot be killed or destroyed without the migratory bird depredation permit. I think I said that right. Essentially, you need a permit to kill black vultures. Sucks to suck. Unless Representative Rose gets his way. He said, nope, we don't want that. We want to be able to do it ourselves because I guess black vultures do a lot of damage to livestock. Didn't know. So they just eat dead animals. How I was wrong. Anyways, that's all that I got for you today. Tomorrow, I will be posting another video, maybe, if I feel like it. Tomorrow, I'm posting another video about what bills were passed this week in Congress, and it's about this many. So it's a lot shorter of a list compared to the list I had today. Again, this was 20 out of 204 bills that were introduced this week. I went through all of them, so you didn't have to. I also have a document that has all of those bills listed in it. I may actually start a subscriber list if people are interested. So if you're interested, drop a comment. Let me know if you would like it because I spent a lot of time on it and I would like to share it with people if you can find some benefit. If not, all my information can be found on congress.gov. Congress.gov, you can watch the floor sessions, you can watch committee hearings, you can watch everything you want. All on there, congress.gov. That's where I pull all my information from. I'll say it again, congress.gov. It is a government website. It is not partisan and biased or any way. It is strictly facts and what has been done. So, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope that you hopefully found some of this a little funny. I hope you found it a little interesting. I hope that I didn't just make this video for myself since this is my first one. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, all the things because if you do like these and you want more of them, I need to know. So. Anyways, thanks. And until next time, keep watching what your congressmen and women are doing. Thank you.